You go to sleep, you wake up, and suddenly the 49ers have $30 million of 2026 salary cap space again. What the hell happened? They restructured Nick Bosa's contract. A predicted move, but a significant one nonetheless. The former salary cap hit of $41.6 million here in 2026 slashed down to $22.9 million. So $17 million and change of 2026 cap relief for the 49ers. They're not lessening payments to Nick Bosa. What they did is took his base salary, all of which was guaranteed for this 2026 season, $22.68 million, slashed that down to the veteran minimum of $1.25 million, and then took the remainder, whatever it was, $21 million or so, and prorated that against the salary cap. As I have told you, the best NFL salary cap trick that there is putting money into signing bonus or option bonus, and that can be stretched out, prorated, amortized over 5 years against the salary cap. The 49ers do this a ton, and the salary cap is increasing from season to season. So Nick Bosa's salary cap hit in 2027 is now a gargantuan $54.9 million. It had been $52 million in 2027. It also increases in subsequent seasons, and the 49ers are now essentially technically owe him salary cap money all the way through the 2030 season because they've tacked on another void year. He's not even going to be on the team then, according to the current contract. This does not extend his contract. They're just stretching the payments into the future. And with the salary cap increasing consistently, that is tied to NFL league revenues, it makes sense. Who wouldn't take out a zero interest loan? That is what the 49ers are doing. Anyway, now they've got about $30 million of salary cap space again. Remember, I did the video yesterday talking about San Francisco getting $20.7 million in adjustments. Thanks also to Nick Bosa because of a $7.1 million insurance policy that the 49ers were able to cash in cap insurance due to his 2025 ACL tear. But anyway, the salary cap number has grown from under 10 million. I mean, it was starting to dwindle for the 49ers with all the spending of the past week. And now we estimate that it's about 30 million. We're going to process some of the remaining 49ers contracts here over the coming days to have an exact amount. Can the 49ers continue spending in this free agent cycle? Well, first things first, they have to continue spending because they still have over 20 90-man roster spots to fill. They also have, I think, some key holes that they'll want to address even before the NFL draft, where they have 6 picks. So maybe Joey Bosa, maybe Nick's brother can fit into the 49ers picture now. But the main reason that they have this 30 million or so in space right now, the main reason that they have restructured Nick Bosa's deal is to roll over as much salary cap space as possible into 2027. Because you look at escalating costs of these contracts. Nick Bosa's salary cap hit now grows to the 54.9 million in 2027. Brock Purdy's number is going to spike. Every single one of these deals is built using the same principles of riding the wave of salary cap inflation. So the 49ers always like to have more space now so they can carry over the unused space into the future. There's no tax for doing this. There's no penalty for doing this. The arena of public ignorance sometimes tries to give the 49ers a hard time for doing this because often there'll be a lot of dead money that they deal with. But as you can see here, the 49ers create a lot of the dead money intentionally. Bosa now will have salary cap payments stretching past the expiration date of his contract into 2029 and 2030. His contract only runs through 2028 when he's 31 years old. So if Bosa doesn't make it past the expiration of his contract, if he doesn't get an extension, which is entirely possible for any player in this setup, the 49ers will face dead money payments, which is money they've already paid Nick Bosa, but has not yet hit the salary cap. And that is by design. So dead money, not necessarily a bad thing for the 49ers by and large. It hadn't been a bad thing It has just been a product of them taking out these zero interest loans against the cap. Any money paid to a player has to hit the salary cap at some point, but a team has control of when it hits the salary cap. And the reason the 49ers have given out the most big-time contracts, including this one, to Nick Bosa, they gave this one out ahead of the 2023 season. They've given out more of these contracts than any other team in the NFL over the 10 years of Shanahan and Lynch. They've been able to do it because they ride these waves of salary cap inflation so masterfully. This is a Parag Marathe thing. This is a Brian Hampton thing. This is something that the 49ers have done as prolifically as the Philadelphia Eagles, who have also surfed the wave of that rising salary cap. Now, in the video that I did yesterday, I made the point that Bosa and his $34 million APY extension that he signed in 2023, had Nick played this entirety of this past season and delivered for the 49ers, he probably would be able to sit down at a renegotiating table soon. The fact that he tore his ACL means that he's going to be playing on the same deal, and this verifies that. So this really just corroborates yesterday's video. Nick Bosa is not going to be asking for money, and we never expected this, but right now, at this point, he's not trying to get up to the Micah Parsons $47 million APY. There's a big gap between where Bosa is right now, $34 million, and that used to be the top of the league in terms of non-QBs, and where the top of the market is right now at $47 million. That was Micah Parsons, who signed his new deal with the Green Bay Packers after the trade last year. So the 49ers, in effect, they call Bosa a force multiplier. He's going to be their biggest free agent addition this offseason, in effect, right? Bosa and Fred Warner are both coming back for the 49ers in 2026. They essentially did not have those guys in 2025. They are force multiplying players who are going to make players around them better. They're going to put the 49ers right back into Super Bowl contention. I mean, they got impact guys here through free agency, starting with Osa Odighizuwa, Mike Evans. I mean, you even go down to some of the depth pieces along the offensive line, I think are going to have a big impact for the 49ers because it's a marathon of a season that's going to require true depth beyond just the starting players on this team. But Bosa and Warner are at the very top when it comes to impact in 2026. And the 49ers are going to have that at a decent price with Nick Bosa, since there has been so much inflation in the market of those defensive ends. And, you look at structure of the defensive line moving forward for the 49ers. Everybody talks about, Osa Odighizuwa, he was helped out by Micah Parsons until he wasn't in 2025 and still put up really, really good numbers. But one has to ask you, how much did Odighizuwa help Parsons? Because I think the relationship is symbiotic. And Nick Bosa, I think, is going to be at his best with very competent defensive tackle pass rushing help. And that's what the 49ers have gotten from Odighizuwa. So he's working to get back from the ACL. We'll see. They're expecting him ready for training camp, ready for week 1. We'll verify that timeline coming up. But it should be exciting to see Bosa with a very solid pass rushing defensive tackle in 2026. And now we just wonder, do the 49ers tack on a premium edge piece for Nick Bosa as a bookend? Maybe even his brother, Joey Bosa. They've got $30 million in salary cap space here in 2026. So there is money to do in the short term. What the 49ers have to do is calculate if there's enough money in the long term, because they have to leave enough to carry over into 2027 and beyond. That's when the costs escalate. When I had you build the 49ers roster with my roster builder tool, I challenged you to leave over $20 million for carryover room. So that ended up being a good kind of exercise, because now you could see they're sitting at $30 million. Spending is not done yet. Can they keep this over $20 million to finish it out? Will it include the Bosa brothers after this restructure for Nick and Joey, the bookend? Well, stay tuned. This is why free agency, the active week, is over. Now we move into week 2. I think that this is why free agency is really, really fun.